pace at 595 over. The bowlers have been bowling on a very, very demanding pattern this weekend. And as we go down the list here, you'll find out how low the scoring pace is and how much 595 over is. Second place, Shannon Buchan, 354 over. Third place, Buchan actually. Third place, Brad Snell, 153. Top three advanced to our stepladder a little bit later. 40 pins behind, John Brocklin at 114, Greg Thomas at 110, Andy Mills at 104. The other plus folks are Jason Wojner at plus 67, Quentin Bolin at plus 56, Matt Tomsu at plus 46, and Brad Miller at plus 36. The other 6 competitors are minus, but with 30 bonus pins after every game, anything can happen.
Back in the booth here from my inaugural reporting position. Lee Boudouris is going to give that effort, going to give his best effort now to be the on-lane reporter. So, give him an earpiece, an iPad, and tell him to get to work.
There was some reporting here by Cherry Lane's general manager, Bob Hockreen, Hookie. He was saying that several of the guys down on the high end, and for background first, I did talk to some more of the guys at lunch, and they said that high end is unbelievably tight compared to this low end, and Hookie's saying that a couple of guys hit their balls with some real rough Abralon pads, like 240, 360, to try and get some different reaction out there for the high end. So we'll see what if they may not use these balls on the low end, but I know Chad Kloss said if he could just get some carry on the low end where he had a decent reaction and get a little something on the high end, he thought he could maybe make a run still, because it's 30 bonus pins a match. That's 240 bonus pins if you were to go 8-0.
Right.
You don't really got to shoot much to do that, perhaps. So.
Hey guys, 2 quick hitters here. Tom Hess texted me while we were on break and wanted to know where to find all of the standings from the tournament. So just to let everybody know where to find those, if you're on our IBTV live page, insidebowling.com/videos/IBTV live, or click the little orange, yellowish little bar at the top. You can click on that as well to come into the page. You'll see down below there's a bunch of tabs. There's a bowler detail from A squad, a bowler detail from B squad, a prize list, bowler detail from C squad, and our match play bowler detail. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to ask him to update with yesterday's standings on there as well, just so you can see where qualifying scores came in, because they're not listed on there right now, so because the standings have been updating. So I'll make sure she'll do that. And then also wanted to let you know that we were talking about Mr. Oath throwing a ball left-handed, and we were talking about a rule, and Mr. Oath came over to me and just wanted to make me aware that because I announced that this was a 16-game block, that whether or not we took a break for lunch or not, it was still considered one block, and you're not supposed to make surface changes. So I said I've allowed it at all my tournaments. He's like, it's no big deal. I just want you to make sure, you know, that everything's kosher and everything's going okay. So in the future, we have learned from this. We are now going to announce that you're going to bowl 16 games of round-robin match play over the course of 2 separate blocks. Interesting.
All right. What did he say anything about his left-handed shot?
I wasn't going there.
No, I was just curious if that's how it came up.
No, I came back with 2 things that were my lunch, and immediately he saw me, ran up to me, and made me aware of that.
I talked to a couple guys too, and I'm 99.9% sure that rule has been changed. That in a scratch tournament, USBC certified, you now can change hands. Not in a handicap, not in any handicap tournament, but in a scratch tournament, you can now change hands.
Well, we mentioned that Derek was on the rules department at USBC before he left, so I am going to trust that source.
Right.
150,000%. So we're already 4 frames into this, guys, right here in front of us. Brad Snell, 888-1, and his opponent 999 spare. So scores look like they're going up as I look over and I see Matt McNeil, first 3 on 15 and 16.
Sometimes in a lower scoring, tougher grind, you give them a break. They get a chance to regroup and freshen up, you know, the mental aspect of this, and they come in a little more fresh and ready to go. So,
well, and their ball speed decreases. They're tired.
Right.
You know, if they were saying that 13 and 14 was the tough pair for Matt, doesn't appear to be too difficult for Brad. So maybe there's something just a little different about it, and Matt will be able to figure it out. But I know that was his only game under 200. And I see there's a thing there. Hi, Jeff, explain the left side. I assume that lefties being first and third. And today I would assume that it mostly is about having a fresher back end on that side for the lefties. And I had a little theory go on yesterday talking to a couple of guys that it helped if you, like for Matt and obviously for Brad, the right-handers are all playing so deep, and you know the theorem would be that they're blowing up the heads on the left side, and that would hurt lefties, sort of what you see in the PBA on a lot of the two-handed deep inside shots where the two-handers are crushing them and the big high rep guys. But I don't think that happened. I think what might have been happening a little bit yesterday is a lot of oil carry down around the middle of the, you know, in the 3-6-10 range, may have created a little bit of hold for the lefties down lane, whereas to the left of that, their back ends were a little bit drier because there's just less play on that side, and that may have been what set it up, because this is a totally symmetrical pattern, and you know, there's not any difference to either side.
Right.
It's interesting seeing here Danny. He looks like he's got a pretty, look at that. Oh, almost a messenger. He looks like he's got a good reaction playing about, boy, 8. The 11th frame sign's kind of obscuring the arrows for me, but he looks to me like he's playing just right at 10 board there. And he's hitting the pocket pretty good. And
yeah,
boy, I haven't seen a ball. I wonder if he'd hit a ball or maybe it was just this pair. I haven't seen anybody getting the ball to hook like that on the right side either all weekend, really outside.
From that zone especially.
Well, if Adam Bardo were still in the chat, he was asking him what the outside part of the lane looked like. And now that the lanes have been able to sit for quite some time now, maybe some of the oil has evaporated, plus some ball paths going across it. Probably down lane, the oil's been removed more than in the front part of the lane, so that's why we're seeing some recovery.
I did cover his last match on 15 and 16, and he was playing that outside of the normal hook spot on 15 and 16 as well when he got his first win. So this isn't something he's just trying here after the break. It looks like he found something towards the end of that last block.
Well, if you were right-handed and were able to get outside 10 and find some way with surface and angle to get the ball to the pocket on a consistent basis, you know, I think you'd have something that most of the other righties don't have, who are going to be blowing each other up and playing all over the place deep inside. So that might not be the worst idea. I would have been really curious to see Pete Weber bowl this tournament.
Yeah, me too.
Especially being the way he's killed the U.S. Open, and this is pretty close to that. I think you'd get another measure of how great he is, but it would have been really interesting to see how he would have attacked these and how good he would have bowled.
Hey, Jeff, what's the amount of prize money that it takes to put up top in a tournament before the top-tier tour guys mark it on their calendar?
Oh, boy. I would think if you start getting in the, 7,500 to 10,000 range, I think you'd get some guys interested. The big issue you had this weekend is Brian Kretzer's big regional in Coldwater, Ohio. He invited me to that several years ago, and I wanted to go because the big draw there is it's not only is it a great run tournament, but he has golf and softball and barbecues for the players. And you get there on like Wednesday. That's where Tom Hess was this weekend, I know.
Right.
And I just know that that's a great tournament that a lot of the stars go to. And I don't know that there's any money you could really put up here on this particular weekend that would draw the guys that go to that tournament.
Maybe Kretzer will hire us to stream his event next year, and we'll set up shop at the golf course, the softball field, and the bowling center.
It is really. I mean, I've talked to many people that do it, and they say it's one of the best regionals, funnest regionals to go to. And my issue is that it's always like this year again. This Thursday night was the induction dinner, Madison Bowling Association Hall of Fame, and I'm not missing that for any bowling tournament. Wow, that is
love it.
That is a good look. And where Dan was in the standings?
Yes, he's minus 104,
Yeah.
and I was just going to ask you guys, is it too little too late, or has he got an opportunity? Right now, 153 is that third spot, so
He's 250 out.
250.
Well, here's what I'd look at if I were him. Let's just say you go 7-1. Yeah, you're probably going to lose a game somewhere there. That's 210 pins right there. That's the difference to get to what third place is. So then you just basically have to out bowl and pinfall that person. You know, obviously that person's not going to go 0-8, but you just have to figure then you're going to probably have to out bowl them about 20 pins a game.
Holy cow!
That hooked back a long ways. That was a 3 count for me. Not that I throw it like Dan, but
right.
Wow.
I thought that was 1, 2, 4, 10, and then he almost comes back.
Yeah, I mean it's not coming back for a strike, but that's a missed head pin, and I would be real curious to see what that ball does on that high end.
Yeah, we'll watch closely.
And what I would also like to know what surface he has on that particular ball there. But that was amazing that came back.
Right.
Shannon's playing pretty straight outside too. The other thing that the other thing that you have there, I noticed it's touched on in the chat there, is the odds are that some other player between Dan and third is also probably going to have a pretty decent run. So, I mean, Dan would have to just really outbowl the field. It's not impossible, but I would say that you better be anybody past 10th probably is out.
Well,
I mean,
Dan right now, he needs to win his first match.
Yeah, he's not even winning this one.
Brad Snell going through the face leaves the 4-6. Brad had the lead in the match, but now has given Lemish the lead on the bench.
Although, you know, if you shot a 290 game or even a 300 on this and, you know, got the bonus, you're getting 100 and something in one game, that closes a lot of the gap and passes a lot of people. So is really just about anything could happen if someone could find a trick and really bowl well. And the great thing about this condition is that you know they earned it.
Yeah, if you can get in that 8 spot, 7 spot, 6 spot, it jumps from $50 to $100 difference there. So you just gotta kind of start looking at it as, you know, if you're in that 10th spot, you know, maybe I won't be able to get to third, but man, I'm bowling for a couple $100 here every time I can jump a spot, which gives you something to think about, shoot for.
Couple of people here in the chat. I am assuming we have James Salisbury in the chat. And Gary B., please identify yourself, please. I want to thank you guys for joining us.
I had some like super duper supreme nacho in the bar. The sports
That's a lot of food.
Yeah, well,
I saw that last night. Tony Oliva had that, and that's a lot. He just needed that ghost pepper sauce on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
The bowlers today in these last 8 games of round robin match play with 30 bonus are vying for the top 3 spots in 2-game total pin matches.
What's your thinking on that, Mike? 2 games.
The 2 games. Well, usually when you put together a prize fund, you've normally got this large top prize, And then you normally have a second prize that is usually half or a little more if you've got a really strong, prize list and more money to work with. So to bowl a long, grueling format over the course of an entire weekend and have it come down to one game, in my opinion, is almost the same as saying, all right, we're just going to have you bowl a 9th and 10th or a one-ball roll-off. I mean, it's really not enough time to bowl a person head-to-head, in my opinion. So I would hate to have someone lose over a lucky break. So it gives you the opportunity, if you're making better shots over the course of 2 games, and if you're obviously whoever makes better shots should come out on top. I mean, lucky things can still happen, but it helps knock that down a little bit. So that's the reasoning behind it. It's just something we do with our events. Not a lot of people do that, but we do, and we don't take the top 5 for a stepladder because the top 5 for a stepladder is 5 games, and then if you would have 3 people for 2 games each, it's a 6-game stepladder. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it.
What you got, Lee?
Don't have a microphone. Not fair.
Lee, our sideline reporter, is looking for assistance from us. There he is.
Check.
Two pin forward following a bad break blower 7 in the
There
ninth.
you go. Right.
So the last pair boys all the way down. Mark Thomas beat Derek Oaf 244 to 220.
And there was, I know
Oaf
that
was
Tom. Tell us.
Well, Oaf was hooking it. I don't think he kind of changed, but Thomas
Went right,
He went right.
and he had a lot of surface on
He
it,
had
right?
a lot of
Yep,
surface, and
yep.
Wozner did the same thing. He was the next pair over. He was using a track, something pretty strong with a lot of grit to it. After the 6th frame, he had 146. Finished with a $182.
And he's sitting in front of us later laughing. Train wreck.
Train wreck.
I thought I heard some beep, 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 beep backing up down there.
Yeah, there was the fryer was going off a little bit, but he had a good laugh when he flagged something. It's like a 5 or 4.
Hey guys, bringing in the dual screen here now because action
Check out John
continues.
Brocklin, yeah.
Yeah, we've got FJ over there. He's got 242 left, and I wanted to bring your attention to that. It was Andy Mills 191, so FJ is going to advance here with the 30 bonus pins. And then over here on 9 and 10 also, Shannon Buchan. He's got 203 left as we see Lemish over there, nonstop action.
I
Put
like
another
it.
10 back. He shoots 214.
Man, he got a bad break in the 9th frame. He was kind of walking it out, getting ready to slap it out, and he left a sticky 7. Then he comes back, trips the whole left side of the pin deck out.
Well, Doug, over here, 9 and 10, Buchan, 203 left, but he's run into Brian Burkhardt, who switched to plastic and has moved right and is playing right up the track, so to speak. And he's got 227 left.
I'm telling you, Burkhardt used to do that all the time in regionals and drive people nuts. When he'd get that, I think it's a white dot, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
Get
is.
that thing out, and it's sanded, or
Yep.
it was then, and he'd loft the heck out of it.
Yep, that's what he's doing now.
Throwing it 2 miles an hour, and it used to there's certain people just would get out of their minds when he was doing that. I just laughed. It's like, hey, however you could knock him down.
And then, guys, right here, this sets us up 13 and 14. Lemish strikes out 214. Brad Snell 215 left. He's got the first hit in the 10th. He needs this one. Second shot in the 10th here.
That's good.
Oh, he gets
Wally.
it. So now Snell needs a strike to get the 30 bonus. 9 would be 15, a tie. Anything less than 9, Lemish gets the 30 bonus. And it was FJ over there, 231. John Brocklin, 231 over Andy Mills, 191. So Brocklin's going to get 261 with the 30 bonus. Keep an eye on him. He's red hot after lunch.
Well, Greg Thomas was one of my picks here. Maybe he will make the move with that sanded ball outside. Here it is. Oh, that's flush. Wow.
Brad Snell, 215.
That's 2 handshakes I owe right now, I think.
Yeah, Lemish can't buy one today.
That's tough. That's tough.
Real quick, how about Matt McNeil on 15 and 16? His 2 games on that pair were 279, 256.
He's hoping for lanes 13 and 14 to have a bad breakdown.
It's not going to be fixed until tomorrow.
Yeah. And sorry we can't use this pair.
Because then 15 and 16 would be our featured pair for the step ladders. But right now, as it sits with these GSX pin setters that usually never break down, 13 and 14 is going to be our pair.
I don't think my squad I bowled yesterday, I did not see one off-spot pin, one breakdown, one ball call, one anything. Just a couple scoring errors that needed correcting. There it is. Nope.
Bombs away.
That just cracks me up when he does that.
Here he is.
As soon as there would be like an ounce of friction, it was like directly to that game plan.
Yeah, I mean, he can't miss right of his target at all. It's gone. He's just playing the old high hard one stuff shot, or I guess it's a slow hard one.
Oh, and then he misses it.
Still a win though, but
195 for Burkhart, 189 for Buchan. Kendo says here in the chat, 278, 256 does not look fair. Well,
No,
that's what the rest of the competition thinks.
yeah, that's just how good Matt McNeil is. I watched it last year at the Fusion Realtors Open. He ran away, hid with that, was top seed, shot 279 with a blower 10 in the title match, and I mean, he was the best bowler that weekend by miles. He's been the best bowler at the Open Championships for the last 3 years by miles. You know, I think the one thing he doesn't have that maybe makes some people question him a little is he doesn't bowl regionals and stuff and doesn't bowl PBA, but you know, he's got better things to do in his life and then spend his time doing that.
Well, one of the comments he made to me, and this is true, the righty-lefty debate, you know, the guys on tour, you don't see a lot of lefties having success.
Exactly.
I mean, it wasn't this year. It didn't boil down to Rash, Fagan, Belmo, Parker Bone, Couch, and Seminelli for the Player of the Year, did it?
No.
And I'm not debating how or why everything gets there, but just it's the state of the union, so to speak, of what's going on.
And it's not like there's 8 lefties here in the finals either. You know, you had one got the last cash spot, Emily, and you have Brad, who squeaked into the finals, you know, and is one of the best regional players and a former tour player. Best regional players ever in the Midwest and a former tour player. And then you got Matt.
So we're beginning game number 10 now. You're seeing players beginning game number 10. It's going to be John Brocklin on 15 and 16. And it looks like, is he taking on... I've got the schedule right here.
I think he's got Wojnar. Or does he have Brad? No, he's...
Game number 10, 15 and 16.
It's Brad, because Brad threw his first ball up
Brad.
one board. And the ball looked like he went out and rolled it around in the parking lot.
And then it's Buchan versus Wojnar right here. So these are going to be a couple of good matches. And here's an interesting thought for you, Jeff. Love to get your take on this. You know, a lot of people are going to say that towards the end of the day, McNeil might be at a disadvantage in this tournament because there's not as much play on his side of the lane, and the righties will be able to break him down more. Okay?
Usually that's an advantage on the right side.
That's what I mean. So McNeil would be at a disadvantage.
Nah, I disagree with that. Not on this pattern. Whoops. 0.
Wojnar gets 0. Wow.
The more we bowled yesterday, the worse they got on the right side. Now, the one thing that's different here is all of a sudden a lot of righties have adjusted some surfaces or got a different ball and are together moving out to the outside. But I don't know. I think they got worse the more we bowled yesterday, so I don't see how it would be completely different today.
So basically, normally breaking down a pattern when there's OB with surface balls, like in your team event that you guys do, usually will yield for an advantage at the USBC Open Championships. Now, at a tournament like this, if all the right-handers were playing them correctly to the right, which from the get-go really isn't correctly, but you know what I'm saying, if they were trying to break them down like that, then McNeil would be at a disadvantage. But that goes back to McNeil being so good that at the USBC Open Championships, it's not like he's got a bunch of lefties helping him break in his line. He's bowling on fresh and shooting 3 800s in 2 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's the truth. And that goes from his whole game. He's so straight through the heads, unlike a lot of lefty power players. I think that's the biggest key to his game. And the thing you have on the right side here is I think you could bowl, take a fresh lane and take my team, my 10 guys, and all use 300 grit balls and play outside 5, and I don't think we could make a shot. There's so much out of bounds out there, so much volume, that I don't think you could really make anything out of it because the ball's just not going to return. It's too much volume and too far down the lane. Brad started with a strike, and then he left at week 10. His next shot, boom, washout, because he just misses probably by a freckle. Greg Thomas had 240 on one pair down there playing out. We got the report, but he might go to the next pair and shoot 180 out playing out. The pair-to-pair differences, and I don't think that's going to be any answer. I think people are resorting to that because the inside's so brutal, especially on the high end. Well, Shannon's out there too, but it's not like you're creating area or anything like that. I think the big key on the left side for Matt and for Brad is dry back ends, less carry down.
Right. There's obviously a lot of friction on 13 and 14 right. Shannon just threw a shot out there, and the ball hooked high for the 6-7-10 leave, and he was just shaking his head like, you got to be kidding me.
Bring in on our dual screen just because there's so much action happening right here in front of us and so much jockeying for position. We will have updated standings through game number 9 here in just a minute. Just remember, you're watching live coverage of the 11thframe.com Open on our IBTV channel. The event today is brought to you by Coors Light and the Diamond Joe Casino here at the beautiful Cherry Lanes in Dubuque, Iowa. Mike Flanagan with Doug Lakey, Jeff Richgels, and we've also got Lee Boudouris out working the lanes for us. A little revolving door of folks doing that. I did it for a while. Doug did it for a while. Now Lee's going to do it. So we cross-train on the fly every time.
Just for the record, I'm not doing that. I'm too old and I'm too tired, and I was up too late.
Let us know, too, in the chat, who you're rooting for. If you want an update on a particular player or just have questions for us, we strive to be the most interactive live bowling network on the web. And don't forget, our next live broadcast is actually going to be September 15th and 16th from the Fusion Realtors Open in Cadillac Lanes in Waterloo, Iowa, where Matt McNeil will be looking to defend his title there.
Brooklyn for a double for Brad. That's a great tournament. That is going to be so much fun. Possibly more than 100, looking like more than 150 entries with a maximum of 192.
Over 10,000 added in the prize fund, and we'll be bringing you that coverage from wall-to-wall action September 15th and 16th.
Supposedly there's only about 40 spots left to get to the max number of 192.
And that one's an official Greater Iowa Bowlers Association or Greater Iowa Bowling Association tournament. Look them up on the web. That's Joe Engelke's great group. I do a lot of traveling to bowl their tournaments because Joe does such a fantastic job. Plus, there's lots of casinos in Iowa.
FJ front 4, 5, 7 on lane 16.
And this field is so strong. We're sitting here watching 2 screens at once simply because we want to cover everybody. You've got Derek Oaf, Matt McNeil, FJ making a run, Jason Wojner, who arguably has the best look from the inside part of the lane, headed into the lunch break, struggling a little bit right now. Brad Miller, first-team All-American, and Shannon Buchan, who has been in the top 3 all day, right here in front of us. So great pairings here in game number 10.
And look at John Brockland over there. He had the front 4 through a nice pocket hit in the 5th frame. Unfortunately, got him a 5-7, but coming off 230 the last game, he might have moved into the pretty close to Brad there, gained about 20 pins on him. Ooh, Derek Oaf with a little brook for a double. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong scoreboard again.
I see Mike giggling. I want to know what's so funny.
Well, what I was laughing about is there's many times that I know for a fact Doug will say what's happening out there, and then I come in just a few seconds later and repeat everything that Doug just said. All right?
Okay.
And I just witnessed what I do usually with you two guys. Doug had commented about Father John FJ, John Brocklin, first 4, 5, 7, and then about 50 seconds later, Richgels looks over and says, "Oh, and look at John Brocklin. He had the first 4, and he's hitting the pocket nicely." It's just so funny because it just puts in perspective this whole streaming thing. I said yesterday that live streaming is like playing Minesweeper for 18 hours straight, or however many hours you're doing this.
Yeah, I was spending my time looking for the scores.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't hear what
Yeah.
Doug said. I was trying to see the difference, how far Snell was ahead of Brocklin.
But, like, you know, these people out there that rip on other streaming services, it's unbelievable to me how that happens. Like, why would you do that? Like, it's so difficult.
My favorite is, I did the Bowling with the Champs in Milwaukee as the color analyst for the last 5 years of the show. That was on the NBC affiliate, their famous tournament. I won it once, and it got 3,000 entries at its peak, and it was still going strong when Channel 4 in Milwaukee killed it. And they killed it because it was expensive to produce. They had to pay overtime to people on weekends, etc. But it was still a highly successful tournament. And I never conceived quite how difficult it was to have a producer talking in your ear while you're trying to talk. So you're trying to listen and talk at the same time. So when I watch people do TV, like SportsCenter anchors and stuff, believe me, you have no idea how chaotic that can be for them up there. And to do the job they do is impressive, especially on live sporting events.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, in this world of bowling, all of us that are doing it, most of us don't have professional training. As William Hung would say, I have no professional training.
Just practice.
But we do get tons of compliments, and we really do appreciate it. And one of the comments that we've got already today is from Salisbury. Just want to let us know that we do such a good job here up in the booth, and he really appreciates what us and the gang are doing a great job in producing the shows for him. So thank you, Mr. Salisbury. And Jeff, let's touch on that for just a moment. Do you know what James Salisbury's movement is all about?
Oh yeah, he's on the PBA message board quite often, and he does a lot of interviews with the Phantom Radio Show.
Yeah, I just listened to the last one. It's like four segments or whatever so far. What's your take on this? What's it? Is a consort? I always say the word wrong.
Consortium, I believe.
That's
is the
a
proper
consortium
pronunciation.
Yeah. The Bowlers Consortium.
Well, I mean, whatever his goals are, the problem he has is I don't think that there's any way that another organization that would replace the USBC is going to spring up by itself and end up replacing the USBC. And I don't know that much change can be affected from within. There's people within USBC that want to do some of the same things that James wants to do, or other dramatic changes. And I've been to the convention the last couple of years, and I've seen that affecting change is virtually impossible because you have 700 to 1,000 or so delegates that have to vote on all the proposals they make, and to try and get all those people to agree on things that are very difficult for them all to understand. You know, I hate to be pessimistic, but it's tough. And you know, maybe a guy like James, that if everything totally collapses someday, 10 years from now or something, that, you know, I don't know. I think that reform from within is so unbelievably difficult, even by people who are within and are trying to do it. And to conceive of a whole nother organization, it's a lot of work. You know, more power to the people who are fighting the good fight. But you know, I just don't see. I hate being that pessimistic. But
I kind of view him as Ross Perot. When Ross Perot was running along for president, everybody liked Ross Perot. They liked what he had to say. Most people agreed with him, but he had no chance to win the election.
Exactly. I think that's a good analogy.
But he made a great statement. And even if his vision and things that are good for the game from what he's doing through this consortium can maybe be picked up by the USBC in that, and if some of those things happen, then that's good. I know that he's got a lot of respect out there. I know there were some things about there was like a lawsuit or something, because I Google searched this a little bit. I don't know enough about it to really comment on it too much. You can do your own investigating on what's going on, but I admire anybody that's trying to do anything in the sport.
I think you're right about that. The best thing that might happen is that good ideas come from outside and get adopted by those on the inside. But again, I'll point out that the dues proposals that don't get passed at the USBC every year just astound me. I wrote a blog about that this year when I was there. I mean, a guy like me, who's all of us here, we're all serious bowlers. It's inconceivable to me that we pay the same amount of dues as an every other week couples league bowler who never bowls a single tournament. To me, that's not only inconceivable, it's wrong, and yet USBC asks year after year for flexibility and things like that for dues, and it doesn't go anywhere because the group that's doing all that voting is just very resistant to change, very distrustful of the USBC leadership, justifiably so for things that have happened in the past. I don't know. It really disturbed me this year when I was there because I know how many good people are there, like on the USBC board. Now, I think Andrew Keane is a great guy and has a lot of good people with him that have great ideas, but boy, oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Salisbury actually says here in the chat, he says, now what we're going to do is, let me tell you what we're going to do. Let me tell you what you're going to do. We're going to ship, chop, ship it to shop, ship, chop, ship it. That was Dana Carvey did that impersonation on Saturday Night Live.
Ooh. There tells you how much OB there is. Shooting a potential 255 going into the 10th, and Dan just took off the 10 pin straight down, and that's using a hooking sanded ball, and it went so straight it didn't even get to the 6 pin.
Unbelievable.
Wow. And I saw a quick one in there, Wisconsin guy asking about the Champ show dying and then no one else doing it. And I just think that I'm not sure if Channel 4 still own the rights to or that, but the production costs are so high for something like that. Even if it's working in entries and advertising, it was just such a costly thing to produce, and that's the killer. We got Jane Thomas in there. I see Jane Baby. That's giving a shout out to her husband Greg, who had a big first game. Don't know what he's got going the second game. My old eyes. I see on the pair he's on there is a string of strikes up there, so I'm not sure.
Let's talk standings for a minute, guys.
Yeah,
through game number 9 now, setting the field. Matt McNeil, he's plus the building. Second is Buchan at plus 343, and Buchan actually right now is bowling Wojner, and Wojner is just struggling really bad. Wojner has, it looks like 99 in the 8th. He's really bowling bad, and Buchan isn't bowling great. He's got 196 max score left up in the 9th. You're going to see him bowl here in just a minute. But he's going to get to 30 bonus because Wojner's bowling so bad, which is nice for Shannon. He's at plus 343. About 150 pins ahead of Brad Snell at 198, but then right behind Snell is Greg Thomas at 184 and Brockland at 175. So those are your top 5 right now, and for all the standings, you can go below our chat window and click on the tab called Standings.
Did you guys notice Dan was just over on this pair, playing out, had a good look, shot 214, Brad just snapped him off, and both of these guys, 2 quality players, and Shannon way up in the standings trying to play out. And we had a near bingo there going for a while for Wojnar. And, he's going to maybe salvage 100 and somewhere in the 130 to 150 range. And Buchan would have to sheet for 190. So it's not like you can't say, oh, this pair's broken down real nice outside. It's just Dan did it made good shots.
Yeah, they had an interesting match there on 9 and 10. Dan had a, like you say, 240, let's say, going into the 10th. Takes the 10 pin off the full rack. Didn't get 7 on his fill ball on a, trying to pick the spare.
That was on a double.
For 212.
Wow.
Then Derek goes up, makes the best shot of the match, and stones an 8. He had 213 left if he strikes out. He stones an 8, and then spare strikes for 193. So that was an interesting end to that game. Derek obviously was frustrated with that bad break on the solid 8. I don't know what Wojnar's problem is this game. Is that his first spare? Oh, it's the second spare there in the 10th.
Well, he had a good look inside down on this end. I'm not sure if he was playing, out up there, and that gave him a better chance. But if you had a good look inside down here, why not go back to inside on the low end and outside on the high end? It's kind of interesting because obviously he's not got much here playing out.
It's interesting to see this friction, especially on 13 and 14, but it's not like you can get in and you got friction down lane that you're bouncing off of, because Shannon Buchan is struggling here because it's so early that he has to move left now, and he has nothing down lane for the ball to recover off of. So
we've got Lee checking in with this. He's been out working out in the field. Lee, what do you got?
Thomas beat Snell 210 to 171. Actually uploaded a video of Greg Thomas. It might get there. It's pretty much 17-9 with real clean ball reaction, real straight.
So he's not out around 5-board or anything like that. Okay. He's not in at fifth arrow, but he's not. Okay.
When he started this block, he was a little bit further out, but he's certainly not in. And trying to loop the field, B squared, 211 and a winner.
With the white dot?
With the white dot. He 4.9 the 10th. He had 230 left.
Oh, God, that just kills me. I've seen that so much in regionals through the years.
I'll tell you what, if you're in contention, I don't think you want to bowl Burkhart, because his look is very good.
Well, and he could be a factor too, and the pairs that he hits throwing a white dot, that's going to really carry this heavy volume of oil down the lane.
Probably put it in the spot where people don't want it.
Yes, right in front of the pocket.
I just took the video.
Dang, and I didn't catch, what did Brocklin end up with that game? I missed the end of it.
I did too. Miller was making a run at him,
right.
And he had like a 5-bagger and missed it.
All right, working on getting this Thomas video up for you. He strikes on this shot too, even better. I didn't do the old Booth jinx. Greg Thomas strikes. Okay.
I see that we have a topography question there from Mr. Salisbury, and I think this, I was telling various people this weekend, my experience, this bowling center is one of the best installs I've ever seen, and the lane-to-lane, pair-to-pair differences typically are completely, not non-existent, but almost minimal compared to a lot of synthetic houses where you'll see huge arrow size differences pair-to-pair because of install issues not getting them level. And I think the main difference low end to high end here this weekend is A squad yesterday, bowling on the low end and the rest of the house not being used that squad, and a strip and reel over a bold on pattern versus a one that sat. You can say whatever you want. It's my experience. Theory can be anything. It's my experience that they're going to end up different, and I think that's pretty much what I would attribute that to.
More great action, guys. We've got Snell and Oaf over on our 7 and 8 pair. 9 and 10 looks like McNeil and Miller.
This is the pro lane, the softer version of the Brunswick, the newer one. That's much softer than the old anvil hangs, as we used to call them. Nape used to call them.
Over here on the right, we've got Burkhart throwing the white dot.
Oh, we'll get a look at it.
And it looks like he's going to bowl Wojnar here. I believe he's bowling Wojnar. And then right here on 13 and 14, it's John Brocklin versus Chad Kloss. So,
this is going to be an interesting match here.
Yeah, so we've got 4 good matches again right here in front of us, right down to the wire. We'll bring you the 2 screens for now, and I'll be right back, boys. I'll see you guys in
You're
just a
going for
moment.
beer?
No.
Oh, darn. Kidding.
Going for Coors Light, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. We'll be supporting the sponsor.
Strike up there.
Here's Thomas strikes.
All All right, Kloss is playing outside with Sanded. See, this is the type of thing, Chad Kloss, when he was younger, as far as I know, did not have this part of his game, this B game or C game, and he's actually become, you know, like I said, the Chad Wrecker nickname, he's become a guy that is very versatile and can play just about any way you want, anywhere you want on the lane. He's actually a real good straight player. We'll see you later, Jim. Thanks for dropping in. Jim may be gone already. He's got the center up in Decorah, Iowa, I believe it is. And that's where Quentin Boland's from. So I'm sure that's why he dropped in. And here comes Brooklyn again.
Hanging around. Hanging around.
Wojnarowski with a runaway Brooklyn. What happened to the scores scrolling? We got a question there.
It's because we got the split
video
screen.
Yeah, split. Oh, okay.
If we go to a single camera, the ticker works. Andy Mills equals Eddie Munster. I should have interviewed him about that.
I gotta hand it to you guys. It's a lot of work you go through. It's all weekend long for every squad. Third through fifth kind of separating themselves from fifth on down. Because I think all those guys all had decent games last game. We know that Thomas did and Brooklyn did. And I thought Brad was having a pretty good game. White touches. I'm getting PBA regional flashbacks.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've been watching some of Derek Oath's shots, and that guy with the ring 10s and the solid 8s, and he actually seems to have a halfway decent look now throwing a...
Yeah.
I think that's a fringe. There we go. Sand that baby up. Playing out. Turkey for Brad Miller to start the game. Oh, and Chad's making the jump back inside. And just shaking his head because there's another ring and 10. All right, Brad Miller looking for the front four here. Look how far out he's playing there. Whoops. We had a screen change. Ruined my call.
Sorry about that.
As he gets the four-bagger.
Interesting discussion with James Salisbury, Jeff. I appreciate your comments on that because that's kind of a controversial topic in bowling, those sorts of things when there's other things that come out. But it gives me an opportunity, really quick as well, to give a little bit of a teaser, just a little bit of a teaser, without too many details now, Jeff or Doug, about something very exciting you need to look for from our promotional department next summer. So
okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, I believe just everybody be on the lookout for next summer for some pretty cool new things coming from us. So check back to the website and you'll know about it when it comes out. But it's going to be a great program and a really big deal. And live streaming will be involved at some point with this particular project that we're labeling Project, we'll just call it Project B, as in boy. Project B. And Jeff, what do you think of the chances of that program being successful, and what do you think something like that could do for bowling?
You mean Project B?
Yeah, Project B.
I can't wait to see how that goes. I think if the people who are going to be involved in executing it do their execution properly, I think it could be a giant thing and big news across the whole world of bowling, and something great for every bowler pretty much. And it's not something that'll be aimed at a bowler like me. I don't think, but
no.
I'm excited about it just because of the good it can do for bowling.
And you will definitely be signed up for Project B when it comes out, and I'll be signed up for Project B, and it's going to appeal 120 to 250 average bowlers, which not many people can put together projects like that. So be on the lookout. You'll know before the end of the year, well before the end of the year, and we're looking forward to letting you know what's going on there. So stay tuned to our website, our YouTube channel, and all of our Facebook and Twitter pages and that. Speaking of which, where's Susie Fever? What's she doing?
You only are allowed one guess.
Free soda.
Yeah, quote marks around the free soda.
You want to tell that story?
Yeah, there was a tournament here in January, and it actually was about a few days after her mother had passed away, and the funeral was on Friday, and we had a big family gathering on Saturday. And on Sunday, her mom had been in hospice, and she hadn't done anything fun for eons, and we had a doubles tournament here, and Gail Myers and I bowled, and she came along. It was the first time she'd really got out for anything, and the snack bar wasn't open when we started the tournament. She says, well, I'm going to go downstairs, which is where the casino is. The soda's free down there. And this is a true story. I'm up here, and we're bowling, and we just missed the step ladder, and it was like 6 games, I think. So it's 4 hours later, and I'm done, and I want to take my balls out the car. Well, she had the car keys, and so I'm texting her, and I said, where are you? I need the keys. She goes, why do you need the keys? I get the text back. I said, because we're done. You're done? And she had gone down and, to get a free soda, and free sodas, I don't know how many later, she was still playing. She says, well, I hadn't done anything, and I just lost track of time. I said it was 4 hours. Not that I minded that she wasn't up, but so that's always been the joke. I always say, uh-oh, must be free soda time.
Gone. I'm going to get my free soda.
Well, she always says she doesn't, unless I'm bowling or it's someone close to me that she knows well is bowling, she doesn't really like to watch bowling. She gets real excited when it's, our team or one of my buddies or something. And in this group here, she knows Andy and, she knows a couple of the guys here. But for the most part, this finals is not the usual crew. So she just decided that a little sponsor money and some free soda. And the sponsor money came from the dice tables last night, so we're all good. She's recycling Diamond Joe money. Yeah, or as it says there, she likes fevering. That's her Twitter handle, Susie Fever.
A pretty close match here with Father John and the Chad Wrecker.
I would have to say, in what I've seen, John Brocklin's hitting the pocket more consistently pair to pair on the right side than any other righty.
Hey guys, I'm going to help Jeff Reed for a couple minutes, but 2 quick points. Quentin Boland's bowling two-handed.
Seriously?
And
where is he?
All the way on the far end, and his look's actually pretty good. Actually, he's really good.
cat because he picked up the 210. He threw at the 210 right one-handed, but he made it. Interesting.
Well, and Matt McNeil goes down there. He's on 24-ish. Throws his first ball, goes bucket and one, and misses it. He switches from the gray ball to the blue ball. I mean, I'm not familiar with 900 stuff very well. He says he was hitting carry down. So the blue ball hooks a little earlier and a little bit more, and he's flushed the next 5 or 6. I mean, one shot, new pair, drastic ball change. That's why he's winning this thing by a mile.
Yep, good point. That's an excellent point. John Brocklin with another pocket hit there. He's not carrying many of these, but he's keeping it in play.
Brad Miller hits the pocket, and 156 in the 7th. Now he's looking at a spare in the 8th. He's got 236 left. His opponent, Andy Mills, 127 in the 6th with a strike working in the 7th. He's got 247 left.
Brad's not having a lot of fun this weekend from what I've seen, for as good as he's doing.
Right.
He reminds me of, maybe Nate back in the day when, as Nate used to say, back when I cared. Or some of the guys that just, he's grinding and grinding, but not smiling. Boy, that's a good look on the inside.
Yeah, it is.
He doesn't have. He said, "I have nothing like that on the high end."
Okay, so I've gotten some emails from cell phones. Okay, I've gotten emails to my Mike at InsideBowling.com email address, but it's from cell phones. So
okay.
One of the things that was said is Richgels commented about Burkhardt throwing the plastic at regionals. One of the best blow-ups I remember was by our buddy Dale Traber at the Heron Bowl regional years ago, in which Jeff won 2 of his 29 regionals there, by the way. Doing a great job, guys.
Yeah, that was where Dale put those garbage cans where the tops come off?
Yeah.
He literally was wearing the top of the garbage can as a hat. No lie.
Then also same cell phone number from the eastern side of the St. Louis area over on the Illinois side says that they're having issues connecting to the chat on an iPad or an iPhone device, and I believe that's because Steve Jobs and the folks at Apple, God rest his soul, obviously, but they don't get along with the Flash people, I think. The Adobe Flash people, and I believe it's an Adobe Flash application. So you'll never be able to see things like that through any sort of Apple source. And there's really nothing else available for us to use that you could use through Apple that we're aware of. So if you can't join the chat, it's simply because of the Apple products.
And I see we got a question there. How is Dan Lamage doing? All right, he's throwing right now on 21. He just struck. Does not have a very huge game going. I'm looking at about 1 teen in the 6th, maybe. Oh no, he's the other guy in the lane. God, I hate these screens. Let's just say I see lots of circles around his first balls, so he's not shooting 200. More like about 160. Hard for me to see. It looks like he's bowling Greg, who just doubled and is shooting around 190, it looks like, on my bad eyes. Uh-oh, maybe he left a 7-pin. No, he's shooting the spare. He left a 7-pin. And we got a Buchan question. Let's see. There he is. He's bowling TJ. TJ just split the 10th. On 19, and Shannon, looks like Shannon shot right around 200, so Shannon definitely got the win that game. TJ's around 160 something. Need binoculars here with this house.
Well, that's what we got Lee for. Jeff Reed, our tournament committee, he's going to be leaving town early. Looks like Doug and Lee are going to ride back with FJ back to St. Louis.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come pick us up, we officially just got left in Dubuque, Iowa.
And then also, Jeff came over just a little while ago and said that he had hit a slot machine for $1,800.
No way.
Just a few minutes ago, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no wonder he's leaving.
On a lunch break.
Yeah, he's leaving. He's going down for a free soda.
Yeah.
Or he went down for a free soda.
Yeah, so he said he was in for the trip for $300 or $400, so by the time you back all that out, it's a $1,400 gain for Jeff Reed.
See, that's what's fun about this tournament is you just step out of the bowling center, you go down the escalator or an elevator, and there's the casino. And I heard lots of stories along those lines of guys sneaking down for a secret, as we say, and coming back with some money. Look at Klaus here. Uh-oh. Cat. Big string, and then he cat.
And so we've got Clausen and Brockland here. So Brockland's game, take you through it. Strike 8, spare 9, spare 9, spare 9, spare 9, spare 8, spare strike. So Brockland grinding with the best of them. And Klaus found something. He likes this 13 and 14. He likes to wheel this pair. Last time he was on this pair, he would have had a huge game, but he 7-10 late in the game on a good shot. He's got 247 left.
Did you notice the white dot here? Burkhart next, he picks up this 2-pin on 15. He's around 210.
Yeah.
That just cracks me up.
Shoot a little over 600 and go 3-0 after the break using a white dot.
On a super high volume, medium pattern with lots of carry down.
The new Columbia white dot is brought to you by Brian Burkhart and 1000 Grit Abralon. Get it at a pro shop near you, folks.
I always used to ask him why he doesn't just use that all the time. You mess around, like we'll bowl a tournament, you mess around with high-end bowling equipment, and you go to the plastic, get yourself back in contention. Why not just start with it?
All right, Dan Lamage had he had almost a little bingo alert going early in this game.
You want to explain the bingo for our listeners?
Sure. And he just doubled to save, if you can save, let's see, a 160-ish game. Bingo goes back to my big buddy Mike Nape, of course. And we were bowling one day, and a guy had, I don't know, it was a regional, and they were brutal, and that guy was under 100 pace through about 7 frames. He goes, "Oh my God, we got a bingo in progress," or something like that. I said, "A bingo?" I said, "What's that mean?" He goes, "Well, you're playing bingo, and they call out the numbers. 97, bingo." So it's any game under 100 is a bingo.
We got a bingo alert.
So anybody can use that one. It's one of the many that Mike Nate came up with that populate the Midwest PBA dictionary of old days.
It was Brad Miller over here, guys. 214 over Andy Mills, 207.
211. Brad Snell has a very, 176 and 211 for Oaf, so that's going to hurt Brad.
211 for Oaf, 176 for Snell, 30 bonus for Oaf. Wojner, what'd he just shoot?
170. He split the 10th.
Continues to struggle. Burkhart, 210 with plastic. 3-0 after the break with plastic. He's still 100 pins out of 15th. Burkhart is. And now FJ here got the first hit in the 10th. He's got 204 left. But he's going to lose to Klaus, who has 247 left with a spare in the 10th frame left.
Come on, Kendo. We don't care that the highest number, we know that, is 75.
Oh, jeez.
Was that? Oh, that was a 4-pin. I thought that was a solid 8. Boy, he's bowled a heck of a game here for 190. That's not going to kill him, though.
No, not at all. That's that whole mental part you were talking about.
Right. I mean, he's in 4th. He's 200 over. A game like that is just fine. It's the 150s or 60s and losing that are going to get you, because he wasn't going to win this game anyway, whether he doubled there in the 10th, because Klaus is looking at potential 240 here.
Yeah, Brockland's 217 over. I don't know what Greg Thomas is doing out there. He just walked down here and whispered something over to us.
We've got earphones on and he's whispering.
Yeah.
You got to yell.
Yeah, it's funny.
Stone and IQ.
Yeah, it's got a lot of surface there. It's obviously picked up some lane shine this block, but boom. Oh, wow. He was ready to run that out. He had the hand in the air.
I've seen that before.
Yep.
A couple of questions here in the chat. Want to know what time they think the finals are going to start. Well, this is game number 11, just completed. 5 more, which I would assume would take about 2 hours.
Oh, God.
So what, 5 o'clock?
Oh, this is late.
Well, what we didn't take into consideration is the dramatic low scoring pace.
Yeah, there's a lot more shots being thrown here, a lot more thinking, ball changes. People are going slower because they're kind of getting punched around.
I should probably be heading home with Jeff Reed. I work tomorrow.
Yeah, so that continues and concludes, actually, our broadcast. I want to thank everybody for watching this weekend.
Sorry. I'm going downstairs then. I only got to drive an hour and a half.
All right, guys. So at this point in time, let's look at this. So McNeil, we believe, is going to be in the finals, and Buchan is avoiding disaster. He's going to be in.
Hi, Yukon.
So then you've got Thomas, Brocklin, and Snell on the outside looking in. Out of those 3 guys, we'll start with you, Jeff. Which one is going to be
Shoo, boy.
in there?
That is a tough call. I picked Thomas early. He seems to have found something here with the ball he got out and sanded. And I just know he's been down this road so many times. If Brad was a little younger, maybe, but I got to think it's been a while since he's bowled this many games. He's probably getting tired. And he's 60 behind Greg right now. I'd have to call Greg.
And any consideration for John in there?
Well, he just keeps pecking away at it. But, again, I just think Greg's years on tour and his ability on grind-out shots, I just like his game a lot. Although, boy, I have not seen John bowl very much before this weekend, and I'm very impressed with his game and his accuracy and consistency.
Doug, what about you? Who's your pick?
That shot on 9 and 10 by FJ right there was awesome, by the way. I'm taking the chalk, as usual. Are you guys talking about who I think is going to win?
No. Who's going to
the third guy in
third
the
guy in
top,
the
step ladder.
I got to go with FJ.
As do I. But we're a little biased here. Snell would be my second pick and Thomas third, but basically because I don't know much about Thomas and Jeff does. So that's why it's so interesting when you watch these things. You got your favorites at home, your favorites in the booth, and who you know.
He spent a good amount of time on tour when he lived out west in Idaho, and made a couple of TV shows, I want to say. He's very unflappable, and he likes them tough. He hates them when they're high scoring because his ball doesn't strike a lot relative to other people when they're high scoring.
And
but when they're tough,
8 spare strike down there to start his match.
And I'm also going on that he made an adjustment after lunch and has really kind of made a move.
Miller slipping down to plus 48 after the 10th game. Should have standings after 11 very, very soon.
And the way these guys are separating, it's almost come down to those 3 for that spot.
We've got Go Padre in the chat. Says, Slammy, tell Father John a An on those eggs would look great. A tan on those legs probably would look great.
All right, here comes the plastic master here.
Bring in a little dual action.
Tell you, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Brad Miller's reaction, though, throwing that charcoal, whatever it is.
Yeah, me too.
Straight up. I think that might be a natural. It's got the blue pin on it. Oh, that's unbelievable. But it's sanded massively, and he's just basically jerking it up, you know, outside 5-board and keeping it in play. And he's not out of it at all.
What are you laughing at?
My buddy in the chat room with my favorite all-time screen name or saying.
Which one's that?
Don't worry, it will be okay. All one word, no spaces. That's bowling. There's a lot of people in bowling that's their motto, I think.
Well, I'm getting worn out, Jeff. I don't know about you. So let's talk about some more fun things while we let the viewers at home take a look at these 4 matchups here right in front of them. We'll get them updated here in just a minute. But let's open up a little bit of a debate here. And if you wanna chime in the chat, if you've been watching along with us, I want you, Jeff, to tell me what 5 people that made match play today, that if you had to put them in the USBC team event, which 5 people would you put together?
Ooh.
And I know you haven't thought about this.
Yeah.
And I know that this is totally putting you on the spot, and we're not going to hold you to it. But you in the chat as well, you put together your 5 people you'd put together to try to win team event at the USBC tournament.
Well, the first thing I'd look for is guys who can either they have similar games and can go straight, are straighter players. Shannon Buchan definitely would be one. Or they have a game where they've demonstrated that even though it's a power game, can play straight. I know Derek Olf has done that many times. He did it this year shooting 760 or something in a team event playing straight up 10. I think I would break my usual rule, and the first guy I would name would be Matt McNeil, because I want I want that on my team. He would be the one lefty I think I would put on my team for USBC. And then Olf for sure. And I would take Buchan. And Klaus knows how to play straight. I wouldn't mind having him.
Okay, so you've got 4. You've got Klaus, Buchan, Olf, McNeil. You've got one more out there.
Boy, I don't know about that. I think I'd probably take Greg just because he's such a good bowler, and I know that he would buy into the team concept. I think the 5 guys I named are all 5 guys that would buy into the team concept, and obviously Andy Mills would too, because he proved that this year at Nationals. They used the team concept to win the team title. So, you know, you could grab any of those guys. But you know, I've always said that I didn't want a lefty just because it goes against the working together concept, you know, even if it was a great lefty. But I think Matt McNeil breaks that rule.
Okay, there you have it right there. Who do you have in the chat? Anybody?
Yeah, what's everybody else got here?
Everybody else? Okay, here we go. We got an Olf, McNeil, Mills, Thomas, and Wajner.
I probably wouldn't argue with any of that, although, you know, I think Wojnar, I don't know how often he goes straight and would buy into that. But he's a smart PBA bowler. He would.
Don't worry, it will be okay, says he's laughing because, yeah, team guy. You just named 2 guys who are crushing the 3rd arrow when they walk in the door.
Not necessarily. Who? I know where Olf played this year, and he started at 8, 9, 10.
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know who else he's talking about. I know Greg plays anywhere on
Probably
the lane.
talking about Klaus.
I've watched Klaus play 5 with sanded stuff. You know, he'd buy into it. Anybody naming? I didn't name Mills.
Wajner.
Yeah, and I didn't name Wajner. I know.
No, you didn't.
Or maybe they're talking about each other there. Yeah, and Brad Miller's obviously a good young player who's a rising star. It's tough when you're going to pick 5 here, and I'm sitting here watching Brad right now playing, you know, straight up with the outside. So obviously he's going to buy in. I think the biggest, most important thing, is guys who are going to buy into the team concept and come up with a game plan and follow it. You can't win the team event at Nationals if you don't do that. It's impossible. And they can help craft the game plan too. I mean, it's obviously Greg is a guy who he came up with a plan using plastic balls. I wrote a big blog about it after he wrote his blog. They did something that we hesitated to do and didn't do, and it helped them almost win the title.
Good shot there by Peasel, and now here's a look at Quentin Bolin on lane 15. Bolin two-handed. That's 2 in a row for him.
Heck, John Brocklin would probably be a good guy to get in there. He makes good shots, plays fairly straight. He can keep his angles closed to open up the heads properly.
Will do whatever you ask of him and repeatedly hit that same target.
I don't think that if Quentin's going to be using 2 hands, I would agree that he would be my guy. But he was playing yesterday, like I said earlier, he was playing up 5, between 5 and 10 for the first 3-4 games of the A squad. And here we got Peasel right in front of us here. He was part of this year's team champion, so you know he knows what's going on.
Buchan's a funny guy to watch. He goes spare, 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 and just misses the head pin to the right, turns around, shakes his head, and he's starting to get a little frustrated over there.
Oh, yeah, we got a little Fry on here. Little short guy Fry.
As he waves on Burkhardt, who just came off that pair, and he's probably upset at the plastic that was being thrown to his break point.
There we go. Well, Brad's fallen a little bit off the pace here, and Greg and John, 222, 211 over. Brad Snell, 145 over. So there's your 3rd, 4th, and 5th place.
Buchan picks it. Burkhardt doubles. And yes, you're right, Jeff. There's standings updated below on the bottom of your screen. Of course, Matt McNeil sets the pace, plus 788. Second, Buchan at 387. 165 pins behind him is Greg Thomas, with John Brocklin just 11 behind him lurking. And now Snell, as you said, 70 behind Brocklin. Brad Miller, 50 behind Snell. So would you say that Kloss and Up have the opportunity to climb in there? Anything can happen?
Yeah, I don't think they're out of it. We got 5 games left. You just shoot one 279 game somehow from down there, gain 100 and something, and all of a sudden you're only 60 out maybe. Look at Brad Miller down there with, I want to know, is he throwing, put on there and check, is Brad Miller throwing a natural? We'll send our lane side reporter.
I'll be right back.
It looks like it. I saw the blue pin. It's about 200 grit. You didn't give us your picks, Mike.
I went with Brocklin.
Okay.
Because he's my buddy.
All right.
No, I mean for a USBC team. Let's get a report here.
Brad's throwing a ransom demand.
Okay.
And Brett and I talked about your question here. 5 guys in front of us. I think McNeil, Oaf, and Brad Miller, you can't not take. And I think after that, do you want 2 straighter guys or 2 guys who are going to lead the charge in? And I'll take the straighter guys, so I went with FJ and then Greg Thomas. If you want the hook guys, you take Lemus and Wojner. Or Buchan. But
yeah, you can go the other way too, and you could take 5 guys that can get in. There's going to be a year at Nationals. I'll guarantee you some year there's going to be a pattern where revs are going to be it. Great shot by Brocklin there, and then you'd be picking all different from what I did.
Okay, my picks here. I'll go with it right now. I'll take Brad Miller, Shannon Buchan, John Brocklin, Derek Oaf, and Andy Mills. McNeil does not make the team.
Well,
I think I just lost 85% of the respect I had for Mike Flanagan that was left.
I'm speechless by that. I took a lefty. I took Matt McNeil.
My runner-up team that I would take would be Snell and McNeil Limish, Wojner, and Oaf.
The truth is, there's enough talent here today that it would be hard to go really, really off base.
Because I believe those 3 guys that hooked the ball could maybe play that part of the lane and not blow it up as soon with the 2 lefties with them. And depending on the companion team, that's kind of how I would have all that shake out. Now, here's a follow-up question. You have to put somebody on the Professional Bowlers Tour right now, out there on tour. You're going to split half of the money with them for all the animal patterns, all the different tournaments. Is it Oaf or McNeil?
That's not that should not even be a question.
Oaf or McNeil? Who are you
Oaf.
taking?
Oaf by 100 miles. And that's no knock on Matt. That's just
The way-
that's what I'm seeing out on the PBA for 2 or 3 years now. Now, if they do a completely different, lane pattern system in that, I might have give you a different answer. But I know what I've seen the last few years. I know what South Point where the World Series is again. I know how good Derek Oaf is, and even all things being considered, Derek's probably a better bowler than Matt. Hard to say because you don't have any Matt track record on PBA stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't want any lefty out on tour now, to tell you the truth.
And that's why I'd have to agree.
Yeah. It's tough for them out there.
Rockland, 3 in a row, really throwing it good. I just got a shot of Burkhart there, crossed over, but that was on 4 in a row for Burkhart.
Here comes Brad Miller throwing that charcoal piece up the outside. He's got a potential 259.
Peasel and Burkhart are in quite the battle here. Burkhart has, if he spares this, 247 left with 2 frames to go. Peasel, 279 with the 8th, 9th, and 10th to go.
Where's that at?
Right in front of us.
Oh, okay. I wasn't watching this match because I was watching the 2 matches down on 7, 8, 9, and 10 with the leaders involved.
There's so much going on. We just thought we would show it all to you here on the split cam. If you got an HDMI cable, hook it up to your big screen TV. You'll be able to view it just fine.
We got a little minor train wreck going on with Shannon Buchan here. He's got 97 in the 6th. Doesn't have a strike. 5 spares and a split. He's got 160, I believe, on 3rd. You shoot a 150 and the other guy shoots 250 or something. That can disappear quick.
It was Joe Labatt that was checking in with us earlier with the
Joe Fragati?
No, Joe Labatt.
That's Joe Fragati.
Oh, okay.
Can I give you a Mike Nape Joe Fragati story?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what Nape called him. There was one time in Raytown at a regional, and Mike bowled bad. And Mike was really, really mad. And even I would give Mike a wide berth when he was like that after a squad.
Okay.
And Mike went out of the bowling center and he walked to the little oil change station, walked all over by the Pepsi machine, and Joe had said something like, he asked him some question, how'd you bowl, Mike? And Mike said something to the effect of, not now, not now, Joe. And like, Mike's walking away and Joe's kind of following him and asks him again. And Mike turned around and unleashed a tirade at him that was one of the all-time, I'd have that on video. And he didn't mean it personal because Mike and Joe are good guys together, they're friends, but it was so hilarious. It was one of Mike's all-time greatest fries. He was just screaming, what didn't you understand about? I don't want to talk about it now. And then he walked like a block away. And I got a kick out of that. And then he became Joe Fragati. That was quite a scene. That was back when Mike cared.
So here's Snell now. He's got 237 left. First shot in the 10th. His opponent, 238 left. John Brocklin.
The hook shot on the right side on 13 and 14 sure looks fairly nice to me. Look at Brad Miller.
Thomas posts 192. Miller, 259 left. First hit in the 10th there.
Diet Coke or Yeah, if you give, 59, that's 89 he gains. We got Brad making a little rally here. What is that going to be? 225. But let's see, could be 238 against him. So there's some pretty good scores down here in the important matches on 6 through 10. That's 250 something for Brad Miller though. That's going to put him within shouting distance.
It sure is. And here's Burkhart with up in the 9th, 175 in the 8th. All right, so he's got 225 left, but his opponent is going at a 240 clip.
So I'm sorry, I'm telling that story. We didn't get to finish your Joe. You were just saying hi.
Oh, he was the one that was sending me the emails through. That was supposed to be text messages.
Oh, okay.
Earlier, told the story about Traver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's his family's bowling center down there, the one that burned down and then they rebuilt it. Yeah, that was quite. Seeing Dale with that trash can on his head was something else. He lost a tough match, I believe, during match play there, and was not pleased about it.
So Snell posts 225 on 9 and 10, and it's FJ, Father John Brockland here on lane number 10, who's becoming a household name to all of you today. Man, he really is throwing it good.
Not to be a cat, and I can't be because he's clean to finish this game, but I can't remember the last time he had an open. He's just throwing the ball pretty much consistently in the 1-3, staying out of trouble, getting his double or turkey here and there, and making all his spares.
I keep hearing like a bell going off.
Yeah, what is that?
Are you guys hearing that too?
Is that something in the live stream, or?
It might be.
I don't know.
Let me know if you hear that.
Because I heard that too.
Ding dong.
It's like somebody actually ringing a bell.
So this is B squared with another 220 pace, hopefully here.
It just cracks me up. And look at another split for Shannon Buchanan, as one of my buddies.
Shannon Buchanan. Look at that. Oh, man.
It's 258 for Miller over Thomas, 192. And now Burkhart, even though he is going to shoot 223 to 5 here, if he gets 8, 9, or 10, he's already locked out.
Oh, we have a Susie Fever sighting. Yeah. Must be looking for more sponsor money.
Bring me fever, Susie Fever.
You can follow her on Twitter.
Come on, FJ.
Susie
Look at
Fever.
that. Good shot, but that fill ball, 237. And we have 160 pace for Shannon Buchan, so this could tighten up here. Second play, of course, second and third doesn't really make a difference.
Sorry about my delay. I had to go check in with the home front. I quoted a 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Launch time.
Well, not we would be completely
Departure.
done, like on the road, but we'd be about wrapping it up. And now we're looking at 5. So that's going to get us out of here by 6.
Hopefully, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, come on now. You're going to bowl 3 2-game matches in an hour? Those are 2-game matches, not 1.
There went the ding again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, here's the thing. I think his phone's going off,
it
and,
is.
and Boudouris
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
where's the mic?
I don't know.
That's not that. So it's it's Burkhart's phone keeps going off.
It sounds like we're ready to start a round here. Like in a boxing match. Ding.
Yeah, we keep hearing ding. Yeah.
Need a round girl then.
All right, next debate.
Whoa.
The Bowler Consortium or USBC? Ding go. It's like what is the show with
PTI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Quentin having a hand issue? Have we seen our on-lane reporter? There he is.
Have we seen him?
Jeff Reed really hit a slot machine on his way out the door.
1,800?
Yeah. Yep. Did he leave now?
I guess so. My luggage is in the tournament office.
Oh,
I do.
man.
I do believe he's gone.
Well, that's good.
I've heard the gross payout was $1,800. They took out some taxes from the great state of Iowa, but
dollar slot or something.
Shake it off.
I think it was just a smaller denomination. It hit 7 triple.
Two-hander.
That's the same machine that he saw a lady pay out $5,400 yesterday. Probably not the same machine, but
Why isn't Susie Fever playing that machine?
yeah, because she hit 7 triple on a dollar machine. It paid out like
Shake it off.
5,800 or something
Too bad.
yesterday.
Who?
I'm saying I think Jeff played the same brand of machine that he saw the lady.
Oh,
that-
the lady.
There's
I
a
thought you
lady
were
that
saying
won like
Sue hit
58. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, Jeff would be like running around.
No, you would have heard about that. There would probably be about 800 of it left by now, but
Boys, I'm gonna jet out for a second myself. Let you guys bring game number 12 to the action here, or game 13, I guess it is, coming up here.
But anyways, was Quentin Bolin having a hand issue?
all I know is he is throwing two-handed.
Right.
Doug, if you want to let everybody know who's on what pairs coming up here, it'd be great.
Shannon's going to
Number,
have to make this 1-2-4 just to get the bonus pins
13.
in this match.
So on lane 7 and 8, we've got Jason Wojnar and Greg Piesel. Lanes 9 and 10 will have Quentin Bolin and Thomas York. Lanes 13 and 14, we will have Greg Thomas and Andy Mills. Lanes 15 and 16 will have Chad Kloss and Brad Snell. Lanes 19 and 20 will have McNeil versus Brian Burkhart. 21 and 22 will have Brockland and Derek Oaf. 25 and 26 will have Tom Sue versus Buchan. And finally on 27 and 28 will be Dan Lemish and Brad Miller. That would be a fun one to cover because you know the LU guys are going to be rousing both of them.
Well, I did talk with Quentin Bolin, and he's throwing two-handed because his thumb is destroyed.
That's what we thought.
It's not something he does normally. He has no ball speed, but he has thrown a number of decent to good shots with it, but this was necessitated by a beat-up thumb.
This game we're going to want to report on how Brad's sanded ball outside 5 is going to work on that end, because after that 250 the last game, boy, one more of those and he's going to be definitely in the hunt.
I missed the 250, but that's what you guys are here for.
Yeah, I was down on 7 and 8. I'm sorry.
Yeah, then I'm gonna report on that game. Then I have to make a quick trip downstairs. Cunningham owed me $15, and he paid me back in chips.
Oh, cash
He
out.
actually owed me $40, and he paid the others in racetrack winning tickets. So he paid me off $40, and none of it was in cash. It's like he's begging me to gamble or something.
All right, we get don't worry, we'll be okay saying tell Andy to use the purple ball. So, because Andy started this game with 2 Brooklyn strikes here against Greg Thomas in front of us, but, you know, maybe he doesn't want to move.
Those 78 entries in the regional, huh?
Well, that's that big, giant one. What do we got? We got a winner yet? That can't be over yet, is it? No, that's just a qualifier. Richie Allen again. I'm sorry, Dick Allen again leading. Did you see what he did last weekend?
No, I didn't.
His first 6 games, I think it was the first 6, but it was 6 straight games of match play at the regional last weekend. He ended up losing the title match after leading by hundreds after starting this way, but he started with 55 strikes in his first 60 frames.
Wow.
And I think they were, I don't know if it was cheetah they were bowling on. I would assume it was to shoot that. But
Right.
he had like 3 279s, a 250 something, a 298, and a 300. 55 out of 60.
Wow. And he didn't get in the side pots.
That would be a good match to watch, but we don't have a camera down at that end.
They are on the very end pair on the high side of the building, and we are on the low side of the building. And our on-lane reporter is nowhere to be found.
Dirty says to use the purple ball. That's what he said in the chat room. He said Andy says he's thinking about the purple ball. He's got it sitting on a chair there.
What is it?
I don't know. Those are Brunswick's. I don't know anything about any ball that doesn't say Storm on it.
Have you
Except
thrown
a couple
any of the
rotos.
new Roto Grip stuff?
I am not allowed to, so no. I have not thrown a non-Storm bowling ball since 1997.
Nice.
Yeah. And Andy wants to know where he's supposed to stand if he switches to that purple ball. We don't have any anti-coaching rules here, so purple ball is all you need to know. That must be a magic ball for Andy.
Right.
I am really curious to see what Brad Miller shoots down in that high end with that, because he had a couple good games down here.
Yeah.
Well, I see a 2-pin combination on that shot. We got Greg Thomas grinding away. Broke up the split there. Brian Burkhart, using that plastic ball, is out of last place. What do we got here? This isn't even updated, is it? I don't think 382 is new. Are they in game 13 or 14?
This is game 13.
Okay, it is updated then. So Brad Miller's moved all the way up to 5th. He's only 98 pins behind Brockland. Greg Thomas in between them. Brad Snell's really the only other guy probably still has a chance at this point. What did I throw yesterday? I blogged a little bit about it today. Sanded Rain Supreme with pin down and a strong drilling, and then at the end I switched to my favorite trusty Nano, which is the ball I used when we won team event a couple of years ago. Even though it's got, man, I don't know how many games now on it. It's a pin-up, real strong drilling.
We've got scoring updates after game 12 here, Jeffrey.
Yep.
Matt McNeil, Shannon Buchan, John Brockland.
Matt McNeil, 822. More than twice as much as Shannon Buchan, who's in second. Our other lefty fading to 6th. I don't think we're going to have two lefties in the top 3. What I want to know is who gave the sermon at John's church today then?
Well, they have 2 or 3. I think he's the head chief. But then they have assistants, or we could ask. He's actually on vacation.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, God's obviously for not coming down on him today, because he's bowling well. He's bowling great, actually. We don't really have any of the leaders here in front of us other than Greg. Right now, losing to Andy. Everybody else is down far end to the right, so we'll have to be trusting our crack sideline reporter. And yes, that was the purple ball for Andy for that last strike. And our big Vegas trip is the September 30th, October 1st weekend. Nebraska and Wisconsin Saturday night game, I believe, at Nebraska this year.
Always a good one.
Oh, we got some loftage there for Chad Kloss. I like the shorts, though.
Yeah. That is a backswing right there for Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
That's how I would throw the ball, like if I had like one of those plastic bowling pin things set up in my hallway. Like that's kind of my style. But to see somebody physically do that every time
and make shows on the PBA Tour.
Yeah, as their style is just, that's a wind-up.
All right, I've been watching this end pair match, and I just put a video up of
thank you, Lee.
Brad Miller's shot on the last lane. His first ball, he left a 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 because he planted the 6-10. He since went double, 2-pin double since, and all four strikes are going to look exactly like what you're going to see. And to me, it looks awfully darn good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, he is definitely not out of this. He's only 98 pins behind John Brocklin, coming off 259.
So Brocklin is in third, huh, guys?
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty handy margin, 264 pins over Greg. He's losing this match.
Just ho-humming along. Babe.
And Lemesh is actually in a very similar spot on lane. He's a few boards inside, but nothing too deep by any stretch. Is that video up there?
Not yet.
All right, should be. Just give it a second.
What he's referring to is the below the standings tabs. There's a video and picture area, and Brad Miller is now
Here we
up
go.
there.
Watching it now. Oh, he had the camera. He had the iPad upside down.
Yeah, he didn't turn it sideways.
Sideways. Yeah, you gotta turn it sideways.
Will it still work? Just with a
Yeah,
bad angle? It's just not the wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I better give this a second.
That loads like my 2004 desktop.
Yeah, but that's an extremely hardcore computer. It's just because all the bandwidth we're taking up.
Right, that's what I figured. Yeah, look at that. That's about as far right as you can be. Interesting. That would be one heck of a rally because he started this 8 games pretty far back, and he's playing the lanes like, you know, away from other people, most other people, I should say, everybody. Let's see. Craig Thomas, still clean, down about 18 to 20, depending on count. High flush. I'm looking at John Brocklin here, and it's not looking good for him this game. 74 in the 5th and a spare in the 6th, and I'm pretty certain I got the right score that time.
Oh, the Chad Wrecker.
This is getting down towards the end. Game 13. Yeah, I'd say the stepladder starts about 5. Just limit their practice to like one shot on the opposite lane, and uncharacteristic there for Greg.
What's that? Yeah, you gotta reset and start over. Okay.
We had somebody bowl in the wrong lane, Michael.
You are correct, Douglas.
And
USBC rule or PBA rule?
yeah, USBC, we're
I
gonna let
have
him
him
reshoot.
re-bowl it.
The PBA one is interesting to me. Is it still where you have to get the pins reset on the correct lane if you didn't strike?
Yep. If you strike, it doesn't count. Anything less than a strike, you take it.
Do you agree with that rule?
Absolutely. And I know from things I've heard that people were intentionally bowling on the wrong lane, moving pairs to get practice balls. That is not just a myth from everything I've heard.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it comes from, because you automatically shoot it over. Oh, well, I bowled on the wrong lane. I actually have bowled on the wrong lane,
Yeah.
because I'm a knucklehead.
Yeah, I did. I have too.
But there are people, lots of stories of people doing that intentionally to get essentially a practice ball moving pairs.
Yeah. I bowled on the wrong lane in the middle of a game.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. I did it.
He said, way to make great shots. He's not out here bowling.
Well, it doesn't matter if I'm throwing so bad.
Yeah. Like, hey, John, I just bowled on the wrong lane. Well, Doug, did you strike? Yeah, I struck. Well, do you just bowl on the other lane then?
Jason Wojnark just got another one count playing like fifth arrow, I think. Kind of a bad angle, but I saw him play fifth arrow, throw it in the gutter earlier today, because he's cutting it so left to right, and you get it going in that OB, and it's like falling off a cliff
Right.
from that angle. Don't you guys think that's a good rule, though?
Yeah, I guess. And if you look at it as so guys can't strategize and get a free shot.
Plus, you're never benefiting from bowling on the wrong lane then.
Right.
Like if you bowl on the wrong lane and throw a big four, you don't get to take the shot over. It's
Right.
not just about the practice ball, but you throw a terrible shot, the rule makes it so you can't benefit. You don't get to keep a strike, but if whatever
Right.
else you got to keep. So you throw that Greek church, sorry you bowled on the wrong lane, but it counts.
The jury's still out for me on this one. I haven't analyzed it enough. I would just rather just have like a giant bug zapper in the building that if you bowl in the wrong lane, you get zapped.
Taser.
And it seriously like affects you for like another like 30 minutes. And then I make them reshoot, but you don't want to bowl in the wrong lane because getting zapped, you won't have any hand-eye coordination at all.
Would you? Is there a quick version, or would you care to comment on the possible prize fund changes we're thinking about doing for an event? And this was all, just joking around about what's it going to take to get them to come out.
Well, yeah, we were joking around. We brought a whole team here. We're about
getting the big stars.
We need about $1,200 for bracket money to break even for running an event like this. And we got like $400, so we're like $800 upside down at least for coming up here and running an event all weekend, which is fine. I mean, but losing money's never fun. So, and it's not like we're doing this to make money, so I don't even like to talk about the whole money financial schemes of it. I mean, we would like to be able to pay some bills and do some things to come up and work an entire weekend and have it average out to about $8 an hour per person would be fun and nice, actually. But I don't think that's too much to ask for. But we were just joking around last night, and Jeff was telling me, he's like, I don't think it's bad if you would charge $10 a bowler for like expenses, so that way we don't lose money bowling or having a tournament. And I'm like, yeah. So I woke up this morning. I said, Jeff, I thought long and hard about this, and I'm just going to announce in the players' meeting this morning that you guys do know about the 7% inside bowling tax off of all winnings, right? 7% back.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Brad Miller shot 237 plus 30 playing where you saw him playing.
Nice.
Well, he's making a move then, because Brocklin has got a train wreck of a game going there, or had one going. I can't say. It looks like he's got 111 in the seventh, but he got a double.
Right, but he's not going to win the game because he's bowling.
Is that Oafs?
Yeah, he's bowling Oaf.
He's bowling Oaf, and Oaf's got 224 left. Struck in the ninth in the first ball and 10th.
We were talking about paying 16th place more as the first spot, and then the first spot is 16th. So if you're just bowling for a title, we'll give you the title. But you want to come in 16th. But you have to bowl every game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I'm
just
with you.
Doing the comparison and contrasting on
Oh, yeah, trying to get people to come out.
and regional players, to bowl versus a regional versus a separate entity,
You're talking about last night at the dinner rant.
And we totally understand why guys support the PBA Tour first. I mean, that's their duty as a PBA member. So.
And it's one of the things that is still alive in the sport.
Right.
Well, Brad Snell got 215 out of that game. He's going to win and get the bonus as well. So he's going to gain some too. We can't see. What do we got here? Brocklin in the 10th. Right through the face. Do not know if it's split because I can't see the pins on the left side. It looks like he broke up the split and left a 610. But even so, make it, he's in the high 170s depending on count. So he's going to lose it a little. That's going to tighten things up a little bit. Greg lost with 185. I think Miller may have moved into 4th then.
Which, if you want to think about this here, like I can't iterate on this enough. Let's look at the prize list. 4,000, 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, 750. When you get above that 6th spot there, you're bowling for $250 to $500 a spot.
Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty good payday, for a spot. So you got to stay in it, even if you don't think you'll get in the top 3. You're still bowling $250 matches, basically. There's a $100 difference from 6th to 7th. So every little move you can make there is just more money in your pocket.
Every move you make, every breath you take. I'll be watching you, Doug.
Micromanaging.
Yeah. M cubed.
But it's not micro like M-I-C-R-O. It's M-I-K-E-R-O managing.
And we did get a good report that the Susie Fever was not looking for more sponsor money.
Well, good.
She found a little magic down there and built her back up.
I'm hearing all these.
The machines apparently are friendlier today than I heard a lot of grumbling last night.
Let's just say if I did get a little tickle from the IB bank account, it is now supporting the Cherry Lane's electric bill, which is frustrating.
Do you know I haven't placed a single wager the entire weekend on anything?
That's probably not the smartest thing to say. That's like saying you haven't drank and I know this isn't true, you haven't drank a single Coors Light all weekend. But I know time factor.
It's got more to do with just not having time.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I have not placed one wager this weekend, but at the same time, it should also, where it does kind of hurt me with the sponsor, it should help me with the tournament director not being a gambling fiend.
Yes. Credibility.
With $14,000 of prize money.
I appreciate you not going to the nightclub last night too. That allowed me to be at the tables for the old guy's unbelievable role.
Okay, so McNeil's up on 13 and 14, and he just strikes.
Oh, here we go. Now this is a match to watch here.
Where's the microphone?
It's down here to the side.
Oh.
Where's Lee?
We don't need Lee. Matt's got the microphone here.
Riggs, how long were you at the craps table?
After last call. So it was 1:30, and the roll was real late. I said if I had made the finals, it was good that I was 18th, because if I had made the finals, I wouldn't have been there for that guy's roll. I would have been snoozing. So I made the top 4 last night without having to bowl 16 games today.
It sounds
Well, that's
about
perfect.
right, because I was just getting ready to buy into that table, and Jeff said, Doug, let's get out of here. So it cost me, instead of losing more money, it actually cost me from making money.
Well, actually, it wasn't. I switched tables for the hot roll.
Yeah, you had switched over to that other one.
Okay,
and
you
that's-
came back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed some fun. But I was appreciative of Mike not coming out for a little nightclub time, because then I would have missed all of that. Okay, so this is obviously a ball that hooks less than the grayish one that he was throwing earlier and the
Right.
bluish one. I don't know these 900 balls either. And yes, the finals are 2-game total pins matches.
USBC's in Vegas. I was getting ready to get married in October, and we were out bowling in May. And obviously, I had a bachelor party and whatnot coming up, but my pops came out, and we had a blast, you know, with the Orf's crew and everything. But times were good in my life at the time, and I had, you know, pretty long vacation out there with bowling and having fun. And I'd finally came to my end. I said, I need to get sleep. We're done bowling. I got to get some sleep and just have a short night. And that was when I had like a 6-hour craps fiasco that kept me up till like 7 in the morning when I was going to bed at midnight, which was an early night for Vegas.
Right. But was it a profitable fiasco?
It was basically recouped all my losses.
Wow. Then it's not
It
a
was
fiasco.
the most fun I've ever had. It was like the prototypical Vegas, something you would see in a movie.
Oh, well, then there you go.
With just the excitement and
Mr. Lakey pulls a slot machine, wins a car, pulls
Yeah.
a slot machine, wins a car, etc.
Hey guys, I'm going to test something right now up on your screen as we watch Matt McNeil battle this 13 and 14 as Nemesis. I need to do a test here on the screen, so if you see the graphics going a little crazy here, bear with me.
And I see we had a question about Don Breeden. Don was in it and had a unfortunate finish to his block yesterday to not make it, like many other people, unfortunately. We noticed here while we were telling good stories there, I think Matt went and got another ball after he threw the one that looks like a virtual gravity, which isn't because it's Global 900. He went light twice, so obviously he's thinking that's not the answer, and on to ball number 2 for this pair. And now we got a blue one. And that one clearly hooks more than the orange and blue one. But when your difference is 2-pin versus trip to 6, or 3-pin versus trip to 6, I'm sure that's not a look he's looking for. Must be a bad pair, yeah, for people who've just joined recently here. Matt's only game under 200 today, came on 13 and 14, and it is the stepladder pair. That's a better look, ringing 7. So all the right-handers that are trying to get in to battle Matt for the title don't have to despair too much, because it appears that this is the one pair that is not friendly to him.
So here I am up in the booth. While we're doing our finals a little bit later, we'll have live real-time
That's
scoring.
nice. I like that. That's nice.
So we've got Riggs versus Lakey, 2 of our commentators here today.
all right.
So
Do I get some 5-7s then?
basically, Jeff is up on the approach, and
What ball's he throwing?
Riggs is on the board with a strike.
Wow. Naturally.
Good shot, Riggs.
And
It was a Brooklyn.
Doug goes up, solid 10. Solid 10 for Doug.
Whiff.
Look at that. That's cool.
And
I'm gonna just whiff it, please.
Doug
There we
missed
go.
it.
Yeah.
Doug missed the spare.
Shocker.
Now Doug's up on the other lane right now.
That coming back with a strike.
I'm not sure how he left this, but he just left the 8-9.
Oh, this has been too long a weekend.
That's a runaway Brooklyn clip the head
And
pin.
Doug takes the 8 clean off. Now Riggs steps up on the approach on the right lane.
Craps 3.
And whoa, wicked leave for Richgels.
Hey, that's how my ball hits now that
He
I'm a
leaves
senior.
the 2, 3, 8, 9.
I'm going to take the 8 out of this one, right?
And let's see what he gets.
He takes one of the
Takes
sleeper.
the 8 clean out.
He did his ring finger only knuckler off the left side and hit the weight hole as it was going into the pin deck and took the 8 clean off.
So we're just testing some stuff here, guys. I just wanted to check it out, get ready for later. I hope you guys enjoy that when we bring you the finals a little bit later.